The human mind is a tricky, tricky beast. It really is. Our human brain has the tendency to look for all the things that are going wrong. It has a tendency to look for all the mistakes we've made, to look for all the things that aren't working. What if you could change your perspective? What if you started looking for all the things that are? What if you chose to celebrate how far you've come? What if you chose to celebrate every little win, even the smallest of wins, as in I got out of bed today, even the smallest wins of I didn't want to do my podcast, but I did it 2 days later and it's okay. What if you celebrated and you started teaching your mind to explore things from a place of artwork and creativity and joy and abundance versus looking for all the things that are going wrong? I talk about all of that and more in today's episode. Check it out. I'll see you on the inside. Is your mind supporting you on this journey or not? I think this word alignment is this spiritual buzzword that so many of us get confused as to what it actually means. So here is the simplest form of what it is. When your mind and your heart are playing in the same playground. So what does that mean? You know, when you have this like deep desire to go try something new, to go experiment, maybe you've got this deep desire for a big mission in the world. When your mind comes up with all the reasons why you cannot have what you want, you're out of alignment. When your mind comes up with all of the possibilities of how you can create what you want, you have alignment. When your mind and your heart are playing together. So your mind is extremely powerful. We all know that. We easily get caught up in our heads, in our minds. The thoughts start spinning. We start overthinking. Our mind is very powerful. Our mind can make up stories beyond our imagination. Our mind can make up stories that support us, and our mind can make up stories that don't. So which one is it for you? Because although the mind is extremely powerful, it does not run the show. There is a part of you that can observe your thoughts. There is a part of you that can understand that the thoughts you're thinking are not actually yours. Thoughts are just energetic debris flying around all out in the ether. And your brain grabs a hold of a thought, and you get to choose if you give that thought meaning or not. The moment you give it meaning, it then comes into the body and stirs up all the stuff at 286 miles per hour. But if that thought comes through, you get to decide not to give it meaning and send it on its way. That is our superpower as a human being, to be able to choose the thoughts we give meaning to. So which thoughts are you choosing? Which thoughts are helping you to get towards that dream? And which thoughts are you meant to send along their way because they're not of service to your big dream? Your heart desires something. Your heart wants something in this world. Your heart wants to experience an extraordinary life. Are you choosing thoughts that support that extraordinary life? Your extraordinary life is a piece of art. Now, I don't mean art in the sense of this beautiful piece of art on the wall, like right behind me, if you're watching this on video. I don't mean art as this beautiful written piece of poetry, although that could be part of it. Your life is a piece of art, all of it. Your relationships, how you experience things, how you go about the world, how you share and express your voice, all of it. How you cook meals, how you get into deep conversations, all of that is a piece of art. And you are creating it moment by moment by moment. So if you're caught in thoughts of lack and I don't know if I can actually get this done and oh, I've got too much to do and now I'm overwhelmed. If you're caught in that, then that is the artwork you're creating. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but be aware. What is the art that you're creating? Do you want your art to be abstract and a little bit wild and untamed? Or do you want your art to be structured and focused? Do you want your art to move about the world? Or do you want your art to be in your local community only? Is your art expansive, wealthy, and full of life? Or is your art a little bit on the dark side? Whatever you choose is perfect, but know that you're creating it right now. It's not about what I'm going to create 10 years from now or 5 years from now. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. I don't know how many times I've heard this expression of, well, I'll be happy when, or I'll go on that trip when, I'll buy that thing I'm really excited about when I have the money to. No, live your life right here, right now. For those of you who don't know me, my dad passed away at the age of 16 suddenly. His life was ripped out of our lives. And it really gave me this perspective of doing life now, living your life today, living in a world where you look out and you see abundance and wealth and joy and playfulness and extraordinary right here, right now. And then when you have that vision, when you hold that in your body, you go out into the world and the world reflects it back to you. That's how you create your extraordinary life. That's how you create your piece of art. So what does your art look like? How are you expressing it out into the world? Are you losing yourself in the joy of expressing your art into the world? Whether it be a deep conversation, a meal for your family, a piece of artwork, maybe it's just snuggling with your animals and your pets. Maybe it's creating this big mission in the world that's all about the legacy you're leaving behind. Whatever it is, experience it now. And try something new. If you find yourself in a rut and you're a little bit bored, try something new out and see if maybe there's a new piece of art. Maybe there's one piece that was the missing piece and you're too afraid to go try it. So go try it. You cannot screw up this piece of art. You cannot make wrong decisions. Experiment with childlike wonder. Go play. Lose yourself in the creation of your piece of art. Are you hyper clear on what it is that you want to experience? As you're creating your piece of art for your life, as you're creating the artwork, the canvas for your life, are you comparing yourself to what other people are doing and thinking, I should do it that way? They're telling me I need to do it that way. That's the only way. They're doing it so much better than me, so I should just do what they do. And you're copycatting their way of life. Or are you sitting with the truth of who you are and what you really want to experience in this life? When I first started this entrepreneurial journey, I thought I wanted the big fancy house and the fancy cars. And if you had met me back then, it was all about the red Ferrari. Don't get me wrong, I still love a red Ferrari, but do I want to own one? Hell no. I want to drive one, but I don't want to own one. It doesn't seem practical to me, and I'm a practical person. And that's okay. I get to choose what I want. My whole life, I have said, I am never having children. You know how many people told me my clock was starting to tick, that I would want them eventually, that one day I would change my mind. I'm almost at the age now where it's non-negotiable, and it's still a no. I choose not to. And that is perfect for my piece of art that I'm creating. So when it comes to the art that you're creating, your extraordinary life canvas, are you choosing for you, or are you comparing yourself to others and judging yourself by it and then trying to copycat what you think you should be doing? I see this happen in this online business space all the time, where one person says, I opened a Facebook group and made $60,000 overnight. bullshit, but they say these things and we go, oh my God, so all I need to do is open a Facebook group. But then we don't, it's first of all, not for ourselves. We're not doing it for the truth of us. And then we go do it and it doesn't work because we don't have the actual full strategy behind it. And it flops. And then we start thinking there's something wrong with us. Well, what if you figured out first and foremost what you want to experience? You got hyper clear on that and dreamt about it in 4K, in high definition. You allowed yourself to vision it, to see it, to witness it, to experience it now. Your brain doesn't know the difference between actually experiencing it and visualizing it. It really doesn't. So play in your imagination. Get clear on what you want, what your purpose is, what your mission is. And if you don't know how to do that, reach out to me. I can help. Get a mentor, get somebody who can help you find your purpose. And then stay the course. That world out there is noisy. And if you get distracted by shiny objects, if you don't have your compass point as to where you're going, guess what? You're going to go around and around in circles. Maybe you've already experienced that going around and around in circles because you've been trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. I realize I said that backwards. That's okay. But if you have found yourself spinning, if you have found yourself going around and around, having tried this after this, after this, after this, nothing seems to be working, perhaps it's because you don't yet know what your true north is. So let's discover that. Find out what your true north is. Point yourself in that direction. Put your head down and your blinders on and stay the course. Because that is how you create this extraordinary piece of art that is your life.